There's approximately 7 billion people on planet Earth, and almost half of them are on the web. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can define and then find and then target and then market to your ideal customer, whether you have a product to offer them or not. It all begins with the customer. So let's talk about business. What is a business? A business, in a broad term of business, is finding a potential customer and then converting that person into a sale. Now, to find that potential customer, it's going to begin with you defining who they are and convert them into a sale. That's basically based upon you creating a product that would solve their problems and their challenges. So in order to do that, you have to define the customer. So it all comes down to defining the customer. So let's get into it. So a lot of people, we make our mess our message. So once we going through something in life, a lot of times we overcome it, and then we pretty much want to help people who are just like who we were before. And when that's the case, it's easier to ask these questions that I'm going to talk about, because all you have to do is think back and reminisce on who you were at that time. Because literally, life is always changing, and we change as people, we transform. And that's why a lot of times when we're stagnant, we start to feel some inner conflict, because that means you're not changing, you're not transforming. Everything transforms. So that's kind of a side note. But so what I do, you can ask yourself these questions, all right? Whether you can relate to them or not. If you can't relate to the problem and you're trying to target a customer who you pretty much can't relate to personally, you need to find somebody who can, or go where they at online and see the stuff that they're talking about and stuff like that. So you got to go where they at, and you pretty much got to study them. But it's easier when you was that person before, because you know how you were at that time. So here are the questions. So pretty much ask, what are this customer's goals? What are their values? What are their beliefs? Or if it was you before, at that time when you was the customer that you're trying to attack, what type of goals did you have? What type of values? How did you see the world? What was your worldview? All right, more questions. I don't want you to worry about writing this stuff down, because I know I'm going to be talking fast. Because when I was just recording this, I'm trying to talk slow, but it's not going to flow out passionately, and it's not going to flow right if I try to do it slow. So I'm going to leave a PDF down in this. Listen, I'm going to leave a PDF down in the description. You click on that link. It's going to take you to my website. When you download it, it's going to have all these questions that you can fill out. And it's also going to have a customer clarity worksheet along with it. I don't know if I'm going to cover that in this video, but it's basically a worksheet that you fill out so you can find your ideal customer. When I say your ideal customer, is maybe you have a product, but you don't want to market it to someone who can afford. Say you're charging, I don't know, $10,000 for it. It might be a person that's making minimum wage that's interested in the product, but they ain't got $10,000. So basically stuff like that. Or maybe you, like some hairdressers, they can do anybody's hair, but maybe they want to, I don't know, they want to charge $200 instead of $100. Or maybe you're a wedding planner and you don't want to do weddings that cost $80,000. You want to do weddings that cost $500,000. So you got to clarify your customer and who you want to be marketing to. But that's going to be down in the description. All right. So some more questions that you need to ask is, well, that's what we were just talking about. Like, what social class are they in? Not only for what you want to sell your product for, but just because people in certain classes are going to have a different worldview and a different story and stuff like that. And this whole customer, all these questions are basically for your marketing messaging and also your targeting, but more so your messaging. You got to speak to them. You got to speak a language that they understand. So that's another thing. Ask, like, how do they speak? What are they open to listen to? What are they open to hear? So, like, when I was creating this product or this business, I really wanted to help people because I came from a hip-hop background, right? I used to be a rapper. So I really wanted to help people who was listening to all the crap that these rappers make on the radio and stuff, because most of us grow up listening to that stuff, and it's almost like it's literally our world. It's like it forms our belief systems, our self-esteem, everything, the way we dress. It's like our culture. Like as an African American, I don't call myself African American, I don't call myself black, but as a Negro or whatever I am, it's like, dude, that literally is our culture. And it's like a lot of us don't realize that until we much older. So I wanted to really help that whole culture of, I'll say African American just for the sake of this video. Like I wanted to help that lower middle class African American culture. But then I realized that they're in a different paradigm of thought, and they're not going to be open to hear the stuff that I'm talking about, personal development stuff. Not yet. They not. So when you are trying to come up with your customer, you have to market to people who is actively seeking for what you have. So if they not thinking about it, it's almost like when you're trying to tell your teenage son or daughter about some stuff, eat healthy or whatever it may be, they're not open to hear that. So it's like you're wasting your time. And when you're doing this in business, you're wasting your marketing dollars. It's like, don't do that. You don't do it. So you got to market to people who's actively seeking what you have. Remember that. Don't forget it. Because we all want to help the whole world. Everybody want to change the world, but you can't do it. Because everybody in the world, they're not the same. We all move through this journey of life at our own pace, at a different pace. Okay? I'm glad ain't nobody here right now. I'm out here in South Highland on Veterans Park. So ask those questions, find out what are their fears, what are their challenges, what are their pain points. All this stuff is going to help you in your marketing message. It's going to help you be more relatable to the customer. Okay? It's a whole list. I don't know how long I've been talking. I'm going to try to get through the rest of this list. What life phase are they in? So whatever your product or your business is, your niche, let's say, there are many different phases that we go through within a niche. So in this internet marketing phase, for example, when I first started, I was pretty much like a new student. So everything was new to me. Personal development, law of attraction, that was like phase 1 stuff. And then I moved to more advanced levels within the phase. I pretty much broke this down into 10 phases. I'll talk about that some other time because that's a whole different topic on itself. So if you can do that with your industry and with your niche, then try to break it down into phases so you can talk to the specific person and know exactly what they're going through because you was in that phase before. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the same thing when I was talking about make your message. Just try to narrow it down, because when you're targeting people, you want to know exactly who you're talking to. So this whole customer worksheet, you want to narrow it down to one person in your head. One person. Don't think of a group of people. You want to narrow it down to one single person. And then when you're marketing to them, whether it be through content or copywriting, whatever it may be, you're talking to that one person. So like this video, for instance, I'm not thinking about, how many people I want to make this video to attract, 100 people. No, think about one person. So just keep that in mind. What is their physical demographic area? Whether they hang out offline, whether they hang at online, whether they hang out at. Okay, because wherever they at, that's where you're gonna show up, because that's where they at. What are their personality type? That's another thing. If you know about the Myers-Briggs, it's a lot of different personalities tests, but the Myers-Briggs, for me, that's the best one. And you read the Myers-Briggs, that's gonna tell you pretty much all the characteristics and the mindsets of pretty much everybody online. 16 different personality types within the Myers-Briggs system. So look into that. You won't regret it. Moving closer to whatever it is you're trying to get towards. So if you're watching this video, you're obviously trying to get more towards of finding your customer and probably eventually creating a product. So every time I create a piece of content, I'm going to leave something in the description so you can download it and make it more actionable for you. Because I know that we can watch a lot of these videos and then it's like we'll try to memorize it. Maybe we'll even write it down, but for some reason it don't stick. So I feel like when you can download something and fill something out, it make it more actionable for you, and it's something that you can always pick up and look at it and resort back to whenever you need it, and maybe even revise it. So I want you to subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be doing this every week. Every video or podcast, whatever I put out, every video that I put out is going to have something that you could download, or probably a video series or a cheat sheet that you can download and make it more actionable to get you closer to your result. So make sure you subscribe, and when you subscribe, click that little bell right next to the subscription button because it's going to let you know when I posted the video. So thanks for watching. I'm Caesar. This is Business and Gravy. Now I'll see you next week with the next one. The next one we're going to talk about, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about doing this one. Today we did this. Next week, we about to go do this. We're pretty much going to talk about the whole overall business model of internet marketing. Everything that goes together. But don't worry about that right now. We're going to worry about that next week. See ya. It's going up like a door kit. It's going down like it's 1, 2. It's going down, check 1, 2. It's almost time like it's 1 till. I'm on some